All right, we welcome you now to the big story. We do this at around about 7:05 every weekday morning here on the Richie B Morning Show. And today is absolutely no exception. We will, in fact, be joined this morning for the first time, as a matter of fact, by two gentlemen who are in the segment with us, looking further and deeper at the whole matter of dual citizenship, especially as it relates to the leader of the opposition, Mark Golding, who recently put out another statement, basically speaking to the matter of the illicit six, but not saying too much in the most recent statement that we have that was published on the matter of dual citizenship. Not too sure whether or not he thinks that he has addressed it adequately, or it's just a matter of highlighting some other issues, what he maybe would call burning issues. But the political controversy surrounding Mark Golding's dual citizenship continues. He's a prominent political figure, and he holds citizenship of two countries, which has raised concerns about his loyalty and commitment to his constituents and the country he represents. The issue has sparked debate about the implications of dual citizenship on political representation, accountability, and even loyalty. Critics are arguing that dual citizenship creates a conflict of interest and undermines the integrity of the political process, while others see it as a personal choice that should not disqualify individuals from political service. This morning, two well-known Jamaicans, one a political commentator, Kevin O'Brien Chang, is with us. Good morning, Kevin.
Hi, Richie. How are things?
All is well, Kevin. Good to have you once again. And we have with us Colin Bell, a.k.a. Shaka fame, from East Portland, where he's the People's National Party representative. I had Shaka fame on last week, but it is necessary for me to bring him back today. Good morning, Shaka fame. Morning, Colin Bell. Mr. Bell, are you there? All right, we're not hearing.
Morning, Kevin.
Morning.
All right. Welcome, gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us in this very important continuation of this discussion. Shaka, we heard you last week. I can't recall actually speaking with Kevin on this matter of dual citizenship recently. Kevin, what would you say are the potential implications of Mark Golding's dual citizenship on his political decision-making processes?
Well, Richard, there's two things at play here. One is the letter of the law, and the other one is the spirit of the law, you know. 2007, we had a dual citizenship controversy, and some MPs had to resign and run over. You know, Darrell Vaz and Everett Warmington, two of the prominent ones. It was found that the Constitution said you cannot hold dual citizenship to non-Commonwealth countries and be in Parliament, right? In essence of it. And so they were American citizens. They had to resign their American citizenship and then run again, and they were re-elected. Now, in this day and age, it's kind of crazy, right? That you can't be an American citizen and be in Parliament, but you can be a Commonwealth citizen. You can be a citizen of Mozambique, Rwanda, Tuvalu, Solomon Islands, Malaysia, and still be eligible to be in Jamaican Parliament and be eligible to become Prime Minister. And you know how many Jamaicans live in those countries compared to America, the biggest diaspora. So it's kind of a crazy law. Outdated, I mean, from the 1960s, when the Commonwealth and Britain were, you know, much more important in Jamaica's affairs.
Yes.
And so the question is today, Mark Golding is not he's a Commonwealth citizen, a British citizen. How is it that his situation is treated differently from that of Vaz and Warmington? People look at it and say, but you know, logically it makes no sense. The Constitution is there, but the spirit of the Constitution, Mr. Golding, many people feel should say, look, these guys had to resign their dual citizenship to sit in Parliament. You know, why should I be any different? That's how many people feel. And well-known oral tracer, the commentator, he called it ethically obnoxious that you can have a prime minister in waiting who is the citizen of another country. You know, whether the letter of the law allows it, it just doesn't seem right. But the the letter of the law, and it was interesting, Australia recently had some rulings. They had the same dual citizenship controversy. And their High Court ruled that no matter what the original Constitution was written, in this day and age, if you're an independent, sovereign country, all other countries are in essence foreign powers. And they ruled that Britain was a foreign country and that the people who had dual citizenship had no right to sit in Parliament.
In Parliament?
So the very interesting controversy, they didn't change the Constitution. The judges ruled that the meaning of the Constitution had changed over time. So those are very interesting implications for Jamaica. But the big question everybody's asking, if Vaz and Warmington could resign and come back to Parliament, why is Mr. Golding so reluctant to resign his citizenship and do what many people feel is the right thing? It's, as I said, the same Jamaica was saying, same knife, stick sheep, stick goat. And people are saying, if Vaz and Warmington happy to do it, why should Mr. Golding not do it? No matter what the law says, the spirit surely says that all should be equal.
All right. Thank you for those comments, Kevin O'Brien, Chang. Colin, are you there, right?
Richie B.
Yes.
Somebody really is on radio saying no matter what the law says. Did I hear Kevin right? Saying no matter what the law says.
Spirit of the law, sir.
No, man, you speak to spirit of the law, you speak to the letter of the law.
And I said many people feel that way, sir.
Well,
my opinion
Kevin,
is really not what counts.
many people spoke, I did not speak.
What?
So I would appreciate if you allow me to
all right,
speak.
I'll keep quiet now. I'll keep quiet.
Thank you very much. So I'm saying, Richie,
yes.
Anybody who is similarizing the Vaz issue and the issue with Mark Golding is just trying to muddy the water and trying to pull a wool over people's faces. It's two different scenarios. The supreme law of Jamaica, which is the Constitution, speaks to a Commonwealth.
Mr. Bell, hello? Why did I get, uh-oh. Seems like we lost somebody. Did we lose both? Kevin, are you there? No, it looks like we lost both of those calls a while ago. Wow. Let's try to do a quick reconnect and make it happen. Of course, Shaka Fame was making his point, and Shaka is actually calling me back. Hold on, Shaka Fame. Let me try to reconnect with Kevin O'Brien Chang and see if we can get the conference call together very, very quickly. It's all happening in live radio, and this is the big story. We have Kevin O'Brien Chang, who is of course a political commentator, and Colin Bell, aka Shaka Fame, who is representing the People's National Party. He's over there in Portland. All right, I think we have both gentlemen back with us. Are you there, Kevin? Are you there, Shaka? All right. Continue to make your point, Colin Bell.
Right. So I was saying that the law of Jamaica says to be eligible to sit in the parliament, you must be a Commonwealth citizen. So, Darrell Vaz, Everard Warmington, and all the others who had American citizenship sat in the parliament illegally. They were on no legal standing, and therefore they were taken to court, found guilty, and in fact the court basically gave them a reprieve, because what the law basically said, is that if you were not duly nominated, the seat is supposed to go to the person who was duly nominated. However, the judges in their wisdom decide that it should go back to a by-election. So Vaz, Warmington, and all those did not give up their citizenship willingly. It was, if you want to sit in the parliament, you have to give it up. And they wanted to sit in the parliament, so they have to give it up. So therefore, to tell people that because Vaz and Warmington gave up their citizen mark should be able to give up theirs, it's two different things. And basically, what you're trying to do is bamboozling people, and it's hypocrisy.
Based on what transpired, even since the last time we spoke, Colin Bell, which was last week, do you think that it is getting more difficult on Mark Golding for him not to renounce the British citizenship, or is it A-OK? I mean, I saw a statement from Mark Golding, which basically focused more on what he calls the illicit six, but not saying anything in terms of the dual citizenship issue. Where is it at right now? Do you think it's getting more difficult for him to, quote-unquote, survive?
It's get difficult, Richie, because the law allows it, the supreme law, the Constitution of Jamaica. So we have constitutional reform meetings taking place right now. And if we want that to happen, that no dual citizens should sit in the parliament, then we must put that in the law. Because what stands as we speak now, Mark Golding is on solid legal grounds. And therefore, to tell me about morality, then of course we must now talk about the 6 people that the Integrity Commission says is under investigation. But I go further than that. Let's go to the letter of the law. The letter of the law says that the Prime Minister and the leader of opposition filing, when it is certified, a summary must be made public to the people of Jamaica. For 3 years now, we have not seen a summary of the Prime Minister's statutory filing. Now, that is a legal issue. So we must talk about an issue that is breaking the law by who recognize himself as the ultimate executive. I call him the chief servant, but I call him also the biggest lawmaker. We cannot have a situation where the biggest lawmaker is the biggest lawbreaker. That is untenable. And therefore, that is where the discussion ought to be. And that's why Mark Golding is saying what is really happening, it's a campaign of deception against the Jamaican people, to move the Jamaican people away from looking at the real issues, where we are spending over close to $1.5 billion to retrofit a building for TAJ. Why we don't build something or use something that the government have or retrofit that? How would that make any sense? So these are the issues that they want to pull us away from. The fact that there's a shortfall in the budget of $22 billion, plus there's another $40 billion where the finance minister have not told us where that is going to come from. So it is a deception campaign by bringing up Mark Golding dual citizenship, which even Kevin O'Brien Chang admit that is legal.
All right, Kevin. Should the two issues be treated similarly? The matter of the quote unquote illicit six and the dual citizenship matter. And do you think that this has, as a political commentator, do you think that this has the potential to derail the ambitions of Mark Golding to move further up the political ladder?
The illicit six, we don't know anything about that. The Integrity Commission is the body to speak about those things, and the Prime Minister's situation. That is strictly for the Integrity Commission to speak about. Illicit six, nobody knows anything about it, except when the Integrity Commission has said nothing about it. So right now it's a fantasy issue, because the only Integrity Commission knows what is happening. And for the Prime Minister's stuff, it's also the Integrity Commission. The Prime Minister can't say anything. It's all the Integrity Commission, they have to speak. So that is the Integrity Commission situation, and nobody else is. The Mark Golding issue, if the public wants to speak about it, the public can. As I said, Oral Tracy spoke about it, his opinion. Many people are speaking. It's nobody determines what the public speaks about. The public says this is interesting, or this interests me, or that interests me, and they speak about it. So the deception argument, well, is the public deceiving people. They're the ones speaking about it. And it comes back to a crucial point. If you have a leader of a country who is citizen of another country, if those two countries have a disagreement, which country will the leader ultimately put his loyalty to? That is why many people feel a leader really should not have split loyalties. And then I come back to the point. I agree with one thing that was said. The dual citizenship thing should be part of the constitutional reform, and I'm a firm believer. All these constitutional issues must be put before the people. We must have a referendum to decide these issues. I'm tired of hearing politicians opinions behind that. My opinion doesn't matter. I'm one person. I want to hear what the people of Jamaica think about the critical issues.
Mm-hmm.
The CCJ, if the monarchy will put it to a referendum, fine. Burglary law, abortion law, dual citizenship. All the burning issues that we've been talking about for 20 years, right? Dual citizenship came up in 2007. That's 17 years ago. Let us put these issues to the people. Whatever they say, we accept, and we move on.
Mm-hmm.
We're wasting time on these things we should be talking about, the crime, which is our biggest problem, about our education, our health. Yes, these are the critical issues that we should be focused on. But people keep talking about these other things, whether they call them distractions or not. It's the politicians that keep talking about them more, and the media and all that. Let's put them behind us by having a referendum and move on to what the people, when you see the polls, what Jamaican people think is the burning issue or the burning issues. 79% is crime. And both parties have failed at controlling crime. They both had their turns at the wicket. And neither of them have been able to get murdered under 1,000. So let us put these distractions aside with a referendum and then focus on what the people really want to focus on.
All right. Colin, do you think these issues like crime and so on will overshadow things like dual citizenship going towards an election? And can I get a comment from you on the argument about split loyalty for a leader of any country?
Richie, I don't like it. If you ask me, there are a couple of things that I would love to see. The leader of my country must be a born Jamaican. If you weren't born in Jamaica, that should disqualify you from being prime minister. Or if we're going to a president, because presently the CRC is saying that the president cannot do a citizenship. I do not agree. But if that is the law, then that would be the law. But as we look at constitutional reform, I would want that to change. I agree with Kevin. We should go to a referendum on the dual citizenship, because there are times when I believe that people who live in America, who are born Jamaican, who swear allegiance now to America, should have an opportunity of sitting in the parliament. So for that, I am kind of wavering. So yes, I agree. Go to a referendum, and if the people decide that you must have single citizenship, that is it. If they decide that to allow dual citizenship, that is it. But it will be difficult to allow dual citizenship and then to have the prime minister only have single citizenship, because remember, in Jamaica we don't vote for prime minister. It is the people in the parliament who decide who become the prime minister, who have the majority in the parliament. And therefore, your parliamentarian is picked from your members of your prime minister, is picked from your member of parliament. So if you are saying member of parliament can have dual citizenship but the prime minister can't, I mean, I don't see how you're going to interpret the law that way. So we need to come to a consensus whether we're going to have, once you're going into the parliament, you must not have allegiance to any other country. I would agree with that. You understand? So I agree that we should go to a referendum and make those decisions. But as is now, we have to work with what the law says. The next thing, Richie, is that crime, poverty, those things will overshadow the dual citizenship, because those are the real issues, that really affects you every day. And that's why I said to people, if you're going to move the king, you must move the Privy Council, because really the king don't really affect us much, It is the Privy Council that really affects us. They are the ones who are making decisions of who is punished and who is not punished. So the Privy Council, to me, have a bigger impact. But we can't escape the fact, Richie, that the Prime Minister can talk about his filing. The Integrity Commission can't talk unless they submit a report to the Parliament. But the Prime Minister, if he wants to talk, he can talk. And I believe that the Prime Minister owes it to the country to put his documents together and say to the country of Jamaica, listen, my filing has not been certified for 3 years, but here are the communications that I have been having with the Integrity Commission. Because the truth be told, Richie, that summary that is supposed to make public, that is what will tell us that the Prime Minister his net worth is X. The Prime Minister makes his money from Y. And this is how the Prime Minister is making his money. We can't be speculating that the Prime Minister, his asset, his salary can't pay for the asset that he has.
Let me ask you,
And
are you saying that there's no gag order that the Prime Minister could actually speak to this matter?
Yes, the Prime Minister can speak to the matter. He's not under any gag order. The Integrity Commission cannot speak.
All right.
And as soon as they make a report, they can speak. But the Prime Minister can speak at any time. As it relates to the illicit six, it is the Prime Minister who puts his cabinet on a gag order. They can speak.
All right. I heard you loud and clear.
And as independent members of Parliament, they should be able to speak as well.
All right. Kevin, we're running out of time, but let me ask you, would you be surprised one way or another whether Mark Golding, he said, the last thing I heard is he said he's going to think about it, he's going to pray on it, and if it's necessary, then he will make the decision to renounce. Would you be surprised if he did or if he didn't?
Well, politically, it would be a much easier thing to renounce it. People would have got this issue long ago. If you had said, okay, I see the conflict of interest here, I understand the spirit and the morality, and so I'll give it up. And now
let him finish.
The great puzzle for people is why is he not doing what people think is the logical and politically logical thing to do, and the ethically logical thing to do. So that's a puzzle most people have. Why is he not just giving it up and settling the argument?
Your view on that, Shaka?
I'd love to ask Kevin one question. Kevin, the Prime Minister says the leader of opposition position is incurable. That means what the Prime Minister is saying, that if Mark Golding even go renounce his citizenship now, he's disqualified. What are your views on that argument?
I can't speak for the Prime Minister.
No, man, I'm asking you your views. I'm asking you your views on the statement.
I believe if Mark Golding renounced British citizenship, most people would forget the issue, will go away. That's my belief. But I'm only one person. I think the public would accept that. Okay, just giving it up. He had one loyalty, no problem.
Yeah.
That is my belief.
Fair enough.
Do you believe that the longer it takes for Mark Golding to make any such move is increasing speculation and doubt in his ability to lead the country, Shaka?
I would want him to give it up, Richard. Okay. But also, you have to understand that if you are a person who sticks to the letter of the law, and the law allows you to have something, then nobody should really force you to give it up. Because what he's going to do, denounce his father as well? He can't do that. Because Mark Golding's citizenship came by descent because his father was a British man.
A quick one for you, Shaka. Are you getting a feeling that there's a groundswell of dissatisfaction on this matter within the People's National Party, as some are intimating? No?
I am not getting that. In fact, I believe that it is backfiring on the GLP, because I see where people are now saying to the party leader, please talk about your father now. Because Mark Golding, his father, Sir John Golding, was a great man, did a lot for Jamaica. And we have never heard Mark Golding really putting that out there and saying, because of that, I should have get a little more bones. He has left that and has been out there on his own volition. People are now saying to him that, listen, the GLP has opened it up for you to talk about the goodness of your father. All the things that your father came to Jamaica and done for Jamaicans, you now need to start talking about it. Because the truth of the matter is, this government have no moral authority to speak about the Constitution.
It is interesting
that the Prime Minister that used undated letters to try and remove senators.
It's interesting that you make that point.
Government that lost the NITS case.
Yeah, it's interesting that you make
that lost the case that they tried to ram through the DPP.
Colin, it's interesting that you make that point, because I was watching Karen. Is it Karen Cross? That's her name, right? Yeah, I was watching a video that she put out about 7 hours ago this morning, and I was like, what? It's some interesting facts.
But you must remember that Karen Cross is not a PNP.
Yeah, I know, but she fancies herself as a political commentator herself. It has been an interesting discussion. I wish I had more time. Kevin, I'd like to thank you. Colin, I thank you as well. And gentlemen,
no problem.
Have yourselves a great day.
Thanks, Colin.
Blessings. One love.
Every time. That was the big story. We had to extend it because it's such an important issue. And we hope that you found it to be interesting. If you did, let us hear from you. Remember, you can reach out to me